Hey everybody, this is Keith Gleason, host of Indie Comics Relay, creator of the Mighty Mascots, and promoter for the Plastic City Comic Con. And I'm here with another comic review. Before I get into that, just a reminder that Mighty Mascots, a triple size anniversary issue number 10 is still live on Indiegogo. We finally made the goal this past weekend. We are over our $2,000 goal. 101% of goal, which is great. I have 3 days left, but it's the first 30 days. So I'm thinking in a couple days, I'll do another 30 days and then have this campaign go in demand as we're creating the book. So, I mean, it's going into December towards Christmas. I'm not sure how much business it'll actually get, but it's never too late to, why not try to grab some more people out there. But this issue is going to be awesome. We're looking at 60 plus pages in just this single issue, which is amazing. One of the backup stories I know is already 15 pages, and I know the main story is going to be at least 30 pages, maybe a little more than that. And then we have a second backup story, which will probably be about 15 pages as well. So, and then any extra stuff that we unlock through the campaign. So that'll be the cool thing is our next stretch goal will be a pinup. My stretch goals this campaign is just to make the 10th issue better. So check that out. Link is in the description of the video below. All right. And then also another quick note, PlasticCityComicCon, we just announced registration is now up on the website. So if you are a vendor or artist, writer, go check it out. All right. Now that we've got all that promo stuff out of the way, let's move into this week's comic review. This week we're reviewing Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives. This is part of the Universal Monsters line from Skybound Entertainment. It's a 4-issue miniseries. The creative team on this is writers Dan Waters and Ram V. Artist is Matthew Roberts. Dave Stewart is the colorist, and DC Hopkins is the letterer on this. And there's a ton of covers, all that fun stuff. So for the plot, I normally don't like to spoil anything. So let me just go to the Skybound website and read you the description for this first issue there. Miniseries premiere, a new horror dream team resurrects one of the most iconic monsters. Acclaimed creators Dan Waters from Homesick Pilots and Lucifer, Ram V from The Many Deaths of Layla Starr, Batman Detective Comics, and Matthew Roberts, Manifest Destiny, rise from the depths for an all-new epic. Years after the events of the original film, journalist Kate Marsden hunts for a notorious serial killer in the heart of the Amazon. Hot on the trail of this madman, she soon encounters an unexpected new threat. But is it friend or foe? Or is it simply... the Creature from the Black Lagoon. All right, so that's their short synopsis. I'll probably go into the story just a little bit because they didn't really touch on anything in there that much. So, but yeah, no, this is the first time I've seen the Creature from the Black Lagoon comics since they did an Art Adams did the Creature from the Black Lagoon, I think for Dark Horse back in like the 90s. I remember it was like a 48-page prestige. It was awesome. And I think if I remember right, you guys have to correct me, but if I'm wrong, I think it was just an adaptation of the first film, but I don't remember. I think I got rid of it years ago. I wish I didn't, because now I'm seeing it on eBay and it's like it's a little bit, it's gone up in value a bit. And imagine because that's Art Adams. I think you can get a good copy for $50 now. So if you have that, hold on to it. Looks like it's worth something now. But anyways, on to this storyline. So, first of all, let me talk about the writers. So Ram V, I've been hit and miss with ever since he's come into the comic scene. I think he does good work. I've recently finished his Detective Comics run, which was awesome. It was kind of like if you'd taken an opera and kind of added that to the Batman universe, and then it was kind of like this, broken down into acts and things like that. It was really an interesting storyline. New villains, which was cool too. So there was some dull moments in it, but overall it was great, great run. So check that out when they trade paperback that. And the other writer that worked on this with Ram V is Dan Waters, which I haven't read much from. I did read recently his Destro miniseries, which I thought was excellent. And he's a writer that I'm going to keep an eye on, because I like Destro a lot and I like this. So, but yeah, the storyline on this was interesting. You can tell that they're treating the creature kind of like the way he was in the film, where he was kind of like a force in nature and kind of in the background to everything else that was going on. And it's the same thing with this. The main character, the journalist Kate Marsden, as a writer, I really liked her storyline because she starts off as she's hunting a serial killer, but she has a personal connection to the serial killer because the serial killer tried to drown her some time in her past. And because of that, because she survived, her life has been turned upside down. She can't trust people. She's kind of a mess, and she has no closure to this event that happened to her. So that's her driving force for trying to find this serial killer, which kind of leads her into Amazon, where the Black Lagoon, I think, was in the original movie and stuff like that. So, and you can kind of see how that sets up the storyline going forward. But as a writer, I thought that was great stuff, great character development, great story arc for the character. You start in this one place and then can kind of go somewhere else with it, which is really cool. Artwork by Matthew Roberts, who also did Manifest Destiny, which was another great book, I believe from Skybound as well. And I don't know if that's still going on. I read the first couple of trades. I got to catch up with that one. That one was really good. But I do like his artwork quite a bit. It gets overshadowed by the old Art Adams book, though, which was like, I love Art Adams' artwork, but I feel like Matthew Roberts can stand on his own. Just looking through it, there's great 2-page spreads in here. The creature's drawn really cool. And most importantly, he's got a good sense of storytelling, which is the most important thing in a comic, whether you have detail or not. If you can't follow the story, then the comic is a failure. So Matthew definitely did a great job with that. And the letterer DC Hopkins did a really good job here as well. And actually, I believe he's the letterer for our friend on the show, Nandor Fox Schaefer's Manchild comics. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he is. And I like his stuff. I've seen his lettering in a bunch of books now, and I think he's very talented. But yeah, overall, I really like this. Let me go to my notes here. I wrote a few different thoughts on this one. I love, first of all, that it was a new story. The Skybound, they did Dracula before this, and it was a storyline. It was new, but it was set within the events of Dracula. I like this because it's a brand new story, like takes place after the film. And so that was kind of cool. That was a little different from their Dracula mini, but that one's excellent too. I reviewed that on the channel a while ago. James Tinian and Martin Simmons, great stuff. So check that out, especially if you're a fan of the Universal monsters. I should also note that, I think I said earlier in the review that, it's one of those situations where the creature from the Black Lagoon is sort of in the background. He's not the driving force of the story. And so go into it knowing that, like, he's not going to be like the main character. You know what I mean? He's not going to be like it's almost like a Transformers movie where the Transformers are not the stars of their own film. It's one of those kind of things. I mentioned the Art Adams one shot, which is really good. I'm going to see if I can find that at some point. The cover art, as you can see on this video, I'm showing a bunch of the covers for the series. The cover art is incredible for this. There's some beautiful painted images. It's so far out of the Universal Monster stuff is the best covers I've seen. Dracula had some good ones, but this one is like outshining Dracula. And Frankenstein just started to come out as a mini series too, and the covers I've seen so far on there are not as good as the Creature from the Black Lagoon. So I feel like the Creature's killing it with the with this mini series. And I gotta say, out of all the Universal monsters, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, it's easily my favorite. I love his design, and I love how different he is from all the other monsters. And I know it's one thing I have in common with my wife, Amy. Amy loves the Creature from the Black Lagoon. She started it. I'll have to share it sometime on the show, but she started collecting artwork for the Creature. So she commissions a lot of artists to draw the Creature for her. So she has a ton of the sketch cards with the Creature's face on it. And for Christmas a couple of years ago, I got her a David Lapham Creature from the Black Lagoon, who's the artist of Stray Bullets. And that came out really awesome. Shout out to him. And her collection keeps growing every year. She gets a commission here or there for the Creature. Shockingly enough, she hasn't read this yet, but I gave her the whole mini series to read. So, and it's funny, out of all the Universal movies, it's the Creature from the Black Lagoon is the only one we have on 4K Ultra Blu-ray. So I'll get the rest at some point, but that's the one we have. So price wise, it's about $4.99 is the cover price for this for each issue. So you're going to spend about $20. Don't know if the trade paperback will be cheaper or not. Maybe, but the standard, about 32 pages with ads. There's about 6 or 7 covers per issue. Now, I'm not a cover guy, so I've mentioned that many times. So I usually only get the A cover because the A cover ends up being usually the best cover. Not the case in this one. There's a lot of great covers, including a sketch cover. So I did get Amy a couple of those. So in case she wanted to get some sketches for the Creature for her collection, it's available there. But overall, I do recommend this series, especially if you're a horror fan. If you're a fan of the Universal monsters, it's a no-brainer to grab this one. They're doing the Frankenstein mini now, but I imagine the Wolfman's next. And then I wonder if they'll get into like the Invisible Man and all that, or if they'll do more minis of the Universal creatures, Universal monsters or something, but it remains to be seen. But Skybound is a great home for this franchise, so I hope to see more good monster stuff from them in the future. So we'll see. But all right, everybody, that's my review for Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives. Like, subscribe, share this video. Also, join us every other Monday night for our live stream with comic creators. We have one the Monday after Thanksgiving. And most important, have a great week. Have a great holiday, great Thanksgiving. And most importantly, if you get some time this week with the holidays, read some comics. All right, everybody, have a great week. We'll talk to you later, and we'll see you next week. All right, bye.